Hi, my name is Tonya, and I teach for Comeback Yoga. This is a yoga class that will be a restful sequence. And if you have a towel or a small blanket, we'll be using that today. So I'll give you a moment to gather that towel or small blanket. And in the meantime, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Comeback Yoga. We are a nonprofit organization serving veterans where they are at. We also meet with their families and any of their healthcare providers. So, in today's practice, do what you can, work with what you've got, and start where you are. Do you know that before we get started, just like any physical activity, that it does require physical exertion, which may be strenuous and can cause injury? To reduce the risk of injury, please consult your doctor before participating in this or any other exercise program. Comeback Yoga, the instructors, creators, and producers of this class disclaim any liability or loss in connection with the exercise or instruction herein. All right. So we're just going to start in any kind of comfortable seated position. You could be sitting in a chair, could be sitting on the floor, could be sitting any comfortable position that suits you. And I'm just going to place our hands onto our abdomen and draw your attention here. Then take one of your hands and place it on your chest. And with the eyes closed or open, breathe into the upper chest with the hand there, into your ribs, and then into your belly. And as you exhale, just slightly press your hand against your belly and then feel the breath come up and out, ending at the chest. Inhale through the nose, lifting the chest. Feel the side ribs expand, belly expand. And exhale, breath coming up and out. Inhale, lifting chest. Feel the side ribs expand, shoulders relax, belly expand. Exhale, belly expand, soften, and chest slightly depress. Do that two more times. Big breath in, shoulders relax, collarbones broad, sitting up tall, maybe even a slight arch of the spine, belly expand, and then exhaling, belly slightly drawing in towards the spine as you feel the breath coming out. One more time. Draw the breath in and down, and exhale up and out. Good. Now, placing your hands on your side ribs, elbows can draw back. And if this isn't comfortable for the shoulders, just maybe even taking the hands this way to feel the side ribs this way. So either here, kind of imagining the fingers between the ribs, or here, imagining the fingers between the ribs. If you can't feel the ribs, don't worry. They are there, they're underneath the tissue. So just imagine the ribs like an accordion. And as we inhale, we'll expand the space between the ribs. Breathe against those hands, almost creating a slight separation of the fingers. And exhale as you feel a slight narrowing. Inhale, breathing in. And exhale, feeling that slight contraction. And do that two more times. In through the nose. And exhale up and out. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then just take your arms out to your sides so with the fingertips on the chair next to you or onto the floor beside you. Take your right ear to the right shoulder and push down into the left fingertips or into the side of the chair. And inhale, bring your head back up to center as you release those fingertips. And then exhale, taking the shoulder, the ear to the other shoulder and pushing down into the right fingertips. Release the fingertips, bring your head back to center. Bring your hands to your shoulders. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Keep that inhale going, big breath. And then exhale, let those elbows come down and behind. Inhale, circle the arms up, big breath in. And exhale, shoulders moving down. One more time, this direction. And let's go the other direction. Nice, slow movements in this restful sequence. We're creating some gentle movements, mobility for the joints, and we'll be moving into some longer holds in today's practice. One more time. Good. And then placing your hands on your lap, bring your chin down towards your chest. Take the hands now in front of the chest, palms pressed together. Inhale. And then as you exhale, send the arms forward, rounding the spine. Inhale, open the arms. And exhale, bring the arms forward, round the spine, really stretch through the spine. Inhale, bring the hands to the heart. And let's do that a couple more times. Feel that breath expanding, connecting your body and your breath. And nothing else matters in this moment but this connection. One more time. See if you get a little bit more range of motion in the next one. Feel what's right for you in terms of the extension and the opening. And then we'll finish the hands at the heart. Good. All right. And then bringing your hands back onto your lap and just pausing for a moment. Sometimes, if we give ourselves a moment to just kind of become aware of how our body's sensing and what we're sensing and how we're feeling, experiences that we're having in our yoga practice. It's one of the most, it can be one of the most beneficial aspects of this practice where we start to really recognize what is happening inside of us, what's going on. So it's important to notice if you're feeling a little tingling or just are you feeling more alive, more at one with your own body. Just just what do you recognize? All right. If you're sitting on the floor, go ahead and unwind your legs and straighten those legs forward. And just kind of move the knees, the hips, and then straighten your legs out in front of you and roll the ankles around one direction and then go the other direction. Good. And then bring the feet in so they're coming a little bit wider than the hips. And again, you can do this from a chair, feet coming a little wider, hands to the back behind you. Take the knees to the right and inhale back to center. Take the knees to the left. If you want a little bit more, oh, I don't know, more action here, don't use the hands. Try to just use the legs. A little bit more challenging, but a little interesting. Creating some mobility through the legs. All right, good. And then now bring your feet to the wider than the hips and take your right hand behind you. Inhale, left arm comes up and exhale, take your knees to the right and stretch that left arm long. Maybe it comes down to the floor or to the chair behind you. You might even come down to the forearms if that's available. Keep breathing. Nice, slow, even breaths. And then pushing yourself back up. Come back through center. Flex your feet. Take your legs to the other side, and that right arm comes up and coming down. You can either stay upright using some resistance, resisting the floor with those fingers, or maybe succumb to the floor if your body allows, letting those forearms come down maybe, or resting. Some of you might even be able to bring your head down to the floor. Just meet yourself where you're at. Again, it's important to tap into inner sensations. Don't do necessarily what I'm doing, but what feels right in your body. Let your body be your guide. And then inhale, come back up to center and straighten those legs. Okay, so here's where we're going to be needing a towel. So if you've just joined, you're going to want to grab a towel and maybe a big bath towel, not just like a hand towel, but a bath towel. And so you start with it here and then fold it in half. And then we're going to take that blanket, or sorry, that towel, and doesn't matter which side you come from. Well, I would say from the unfolded side, start to roll it. So you're going to roll it up. So that you have something about like this. Yours might be a little thicker than mine, or maybe even a little wider. You're gonna bring it behind you. You can do this even at a chair. You would have the um, the towel here behind the shoulder blades, and this is where we're gonna end up having it when we come down onto our back as well. So when we come down, I'm gonna take the shoulders onto the floor. So your shoulder blades are elevated by that towel. And then bring your arms into cactus or goalpost arms with the back of the hands resting on the floor or even to the chair back. And then straighten the legs if that's comfortable. Adjust as you need. Maybe your towel feels too big, maybe it doesn't feel big enough, and you can always adjust to your liking. You want to be able to breathe smoothly here. Notice if your breathing is shallow and tight. Maybe take a moment or two, see if you can't soften the breath, let the breath become more regular. And if it still is causing irregularity in the breath, then you're going to want to reduce the size of that towel, of that roll. Your shoulders are resting on the floor, as are the elbows. They're coming above the towel. So make sure that you have that. And then if the back of the hands come to the floor, great. If they don't, then maybe straighten the arms straight out to the sides, and that way the arms can be relaxed. And then your head's at center. And we'll just take a few moments here. And I want you to bring that breath against the prop, against the towel. So, like we did earlier, where we were expanding our ribs, I want you to do that here. But now you're doing it with feedback from the towel. Maybe even hold the breath in at the top and then slowly let it out as you soften the breath. Breathing in to expand, almost even pushing down against the blanket. Keep the breath going. Hold it in at the top for 3, 2, 1, and exhale slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Let those shoulders drop down. And exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Just stay here with a natural breath for Another moment or so. All right, now bring your fingertips to your temples and walk your feet in. Bring the soles of your feet together with the knees coming wide. We're going to inhale, arch your back, press your elbows to the floor. And as you exhale, lift your head and shoulders up, bringing those elbows towards one another. Knees now come towards one another. Press your feet to the floor. Inhale, arch your spine, elbows to the floor. And just notice if your blanket or your towel feels too high here, you could always remove it or lower the height of it. Let's do two more. Exhale, lift up, pressing your shoulder blades against the towel. Elbows, knees come together. Inhale, lower down, arch the back. Let the head come down. Look to the wall behind you. One more time. Exhale, slowly bring your head up. And inhale, coming down. Good. Now bring your knees together, feet wide, and lift your hips up to remove the blanket bring the blanket or the towel, excuse me, right next to the heels and lower your spine down. Let those knees fall together. Bring your hands behind your head and just kind of lengthen the spine and then lower your head back down, resting your hands onto your belly. Now straighten your right leg and move that towel right underneath the knee. Bring your left knee into your chest and interlace the hands behind the hamstring. You could also do this in a chair just by bringing one knee in. Straighten that leg and bend the leg and point the foot. Straighten your leg as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knee and point the foot. Two more times. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. And last one. Good. Now take your foot onto your thigh and twist to the right. Look to the left. Keep a hold of the knee with the right hand as you look over the left shoulder. Come back to center. And then take that same ankle on the opposite knee. So we're kind of in a reclined figure four here. If you feel like you could maybe deepen this, then you can slide your foot onto your towel. That would be the next option. And then the next option would be to even bring your knees in towards your chest. So just do what you would like today. Do what feels right. Do what calls to you. Something that you feel like you could sustain for a minute or so. And that doesn't mean that you have to sustain it for a minute. That if there's any time that you feel like you need to come out and change your position, do so. But stay present and steady with your breath, noticing the quality of your breath. Is it smooth, soft, and regular? If the breath becomes irregular, shallow, sharp, that's where we'll either want to work on lengthening it or back out of a posture because that could indicate that something's not right. All right. And then go ahead and release that leg, straighten both legs out, and can roll the ankles around. All right, we'll go to the other side. So, left leg's resting on the towel, and the right knee comes into your chest. With your next inhale, straighten your leg, flex the foot, and exhale, bend the knee, point your foot. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, bend. Place a foot onto the opposite thigh and grab a hold of the outside of the knee, and your other hand goes out to the side and let the knee go as far as it will. You can adjust your spine here. And if it feels all right, turn your right palm open, either towards the ceiling or towards the wall in front of you. Let the head look over that right hand, maybe even focus your gaze specifically on the palm or the thumb. Take one focal point, could be the fingertip, that brings steadiness to mind. Bringing your gaze back to center, knee comes back to center. Taking that ankle now on the knee and resting your hands anywhere. If you wanted a little bit more, the foot comes onto the towel or the knees draw in towards the chest. If it's possible, do the same thing that you did on the other side. Sometimes, for various reasons, it's not possible. You can just meet that side, this side, where it's at today. And know that as you continue this practice, you're starting to cultivate um, rewards, I guess. I don't know if that's really the right word, but it's like putting anything into the bank. Hopefully, it will grow, you know, and not just sit there. This is sort of that same way. We're adding to this practice, nourishing it, cultivating a rich soil so that we can eventually blossom and flourish from it. All right. And release that leg, straighten it out, and roll the ankles around one direction and then the other. Good. And then place your feet on the towel. Draw the knees in together and the feet coming wider, the hips. Take your right arm next to your ear or left and roll to your side. And pause for just a moment there. And using that top hand, press yourself up. So we're going to use our towel and we'll unroll it, but now just fold it maybe in a third, just so you have a little bit, fold it third, and then so that you have like a little pillow. And you're going to sit upon it so that your hips are slightly elevated. And then take your right leg out in front of you, and your left knee will come on top. So this will be one position that we can um, find ourselves in. If it's available, you could also tuck that other knee in and have both knees bent. I'm going to be here today with my bottom leg straight. Now, just notice if you sense any discomfort on the back of the knee. We don't want to be pulling on those ligaments and tendons. You could take another towel or even your mat or anything, just kind of roll it up and place it underneath the knee there. And then bring your hands behind you pushing into the back of the chair or into the floor, just to create a little bit of extension through the spine. And then you can stay there, or if it's available today, you can kind of come forward a little bit or a lot, coming down towards the leg, towards the thigh. And then press yourself up. We'll stay here in this leg position, but we're going to take our hand out to the side and then bring the opposite arm up overhead and then crawl yourself to the side. So from the front, coming into a side bend here. Hmm. And inhale, come up. Let's take a side bend, other side. And inhale, reach up. And exhale, take the hand down and unwind your legs and just pause for a moment. Always good to take a moment just to notice the sensations that came up in the body. One side now probably feels different than the other. Just observe, just be curious, and stay present with it. Good. All right. And let's take that to the other side now. So our left leg will go straight and right knee on top. So from the front, if it's available, the knees are stacked, but don't worry if they don't, the foot coming to the outside of the hip. You might actually be more here. Just do what you can. And again, we'll push to the floor behind us to create some lift and length, but find ease in the breath. And then, if it's available, you can hinge forward and then maybe coming down a little closer to the leg, stretching the arms, using that breath. And with your next inhale, bring yourself back up, arms out to the side. Inhale, the left arm comes up, and exhale, reach up and across for that side bend. Keep pushing into your right hand to create an anchoring. And inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, other side. And inhale, push down, rise. And exhale, pause. Straighten the leg. Hmm. Maybe rest my hands on the lap. Just wait, watch, and listen. Maybe the eyes are closed just to sense any changes, any shifts in your body, in your breath, in the thoughts. What do you notice? All right. So now we're going to take both legs forward, still sitting up on that towel or the pillow or blanket, whatever you might have. We'll put a little bend though in our knees for starters. And just kind of get nice and tall. Maybe again, even start out with pushing your fingertips into the floor just to feel some extension along the spine, the front and the back. And then from there, go ahead and walk your torso towards your thighs using the hands, kind of pushing your torso towards or onto the thighs, even. Just first getting a stretch along the spine. And then, if it's available, take one hand to the top of the same foot, other hand to the top of the other foot. Curl the toes back towards you. And then begin to push your feet away from you. So the legs are still bent, but push the feet away from you to get that nice stretch for the spine, but with using the strength of the legs and the arms. And then release, pull those toes back, sit up a little taller, and exhale, come forward. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, come low. Now you can stay here, or if you like, walk one foot and then the other forward to come into a little bit more of a extended forward fold with the legs long, focusing on the hamstrings now, but staying present with any sensations along the back. We want to feel an even distribution of stretch along the spine, not at any one spot. So try to feel that coming out of it if you feel any pain. And then we'll just take one or two more breaths here. And then as you push down into the heels, little bend in the knees, rise all the way back up. Coming off of our towel or blanket or pillow now. But we'll go ahead and re-roll it. You don't have to unroll it and re-roll it, but just roll it so it's another little towel of sorts or roll of sorts. And if you're sitting on your floor or your mat, go ahead and grab the back of your knees and lower yourself down nice and slow. Easy does it. If you're sitting, just sit up tall in your chair. Let's take those feet a little wider than the hips and underneath the knees. Take the arms straight out to the sides. With your next exhale, lower the knees towards the right and look to the left. Let's move dynamically here. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, knees to the left as you look to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. Just let the head roll like a heavy ball, not necessarily lifting it unless there's any discomfort. So it may not roll far. Just keep your head pressing down towards the mat. If this provides any discomfort, maybe just keep your head at center. So if you've had TBI, moving of the head may not feel great. So just do what you can. Keep your head at center or slow your movements down. We'll just do one more on each side. Now hold on that side and then take your bottom ankle on top of the top knee. So you're going to press that knee and the ankle together as you look to the opposite shoulder. Allow the hip to come forward as you open the psoas here, the thigh, the quad, getting a stretch. And then release that, coming back to center. And we'll go to the other side. So feet stay wide, and we'll take the bottom ankle on top of the right knee, pressing knee and ankle together as you arch. Let the spine rotate or lengthen. Press into the feet, come back to center. Keep your ankle on your knee And hold here for figure four. Re-extend and lengthen the spine. You can stay here with the legs or bring the knees into the chest. Maybe the second time we're doing this posture, you're feeling maybe a little bit more, maybe some of these muscles are a little bit warmed up, more available, more open. And release that. Take the foot to the floor and switch sides, figure four, other side, ankle to knee, and then draw knees in if that's available. And then placing foot to floor. Now straighten both legs and bring your hands maybe over your head or behind your head or next to your head, and walk your legs over to one side and your torso goes in that same direction. So you're going to do like a banana shape here for your body, just a slight curvature reaching from one ankle all the way up to the ear. Keeping both hips, heels, and shoulders on the ground. Just come into a side bend if you're in the chair. And then come back to center, walking legs and torso to the other side. And release that. Come on back to center. Good. And we'll just do a quick knees to chest. Bring one in and then the other. Lengthen the spine. And lower the feet down. And here's where you're going to take your towel and just place it behind the knees as you straighten your legs to the floor. So letting the towel rest under the knees. And I'm going to rest our hands on our body or out to the side, whatever's comfortable. I'll lead you here in about a 5-minute guided meditation. So get comfortable. If laying on your back isn't comfortable, then find a suitable position that you could sustain for about 5 minutes without pain. It's most important that we recognize when we're in pain because it certainly will shorten our breath, which doesn't help the healing process. So just allowing the self to get settled in. And I'll just have you bring your attention to your face, any areas of tension around the eyes, the forehead, sensing any tension in the jaw, and sensing where there isn't any tension, feeling the contrast of ease and tension, feeling the contrast between soft and hard, between gripping and softening, and sensing your shoulders, sensing any tension, any gripping, any tightness, and then sense ease, comfort. If you aren't finding one of these qualities or the other, just what conjures up from the word, bring that into your body and into your space, into your sensing. Sensing your torso, if there's tension, and now sense any ease, any softening. And now sensing your hips, your buttocks, where there's tension and where there's ease. Sensing your legs, noticing a sense of cons- contraction or constriction, and then where there's a sense of ease and release. Sensing the opposites and sensing your feet, sensing where there's tension, gripping, discomfort, maybe heat. Where is there cool, warmth, softness, ease, sensing the legs, the hips, the torso, the shoulders, and sensing the arms, the hands, sensing the shoulders, the torso, the neck, and your head. Sensing throughout your body areas of discomfort and areas with comfort, areas of ease and areas of dis-ease, areas of light and areas of dark, areas of fluidity, areas of stillness. And as you sense these opposites, notice if there's an overall state of progressive ease, of progressive relaxation, of progressive comfort, rejuvenation, rest, renewal. And just take a few more moments on your own in silence, just sensing. I'll still be here, but give yourself opportunity to listen inwardly for another minute or so. I'll start to bring your hearing back to my voice, to the room around you, maybe even noticing any sounds outside of the room, sensing the surface beneath you, the space around you, above you, below you, and to the sides of you. Noticing any temperature changes, any light streaming through the eyelids, and begin to animate your body, starting to find that movement, physical movement. You might even noticing your thoughts becoming more active and gently make your way to a comfortable position, another comfortable position. So maybe sitting up if you weren't sitting up before. And I invite you now to place your hands in front of your heart to complete your practice today. I hope that you have found a place inside of you, a place that you can come to, a place that you cultivate and nourish and flourish, a place of resiliency, growth, and humanity. Be well. And again, my name is Tonya. If you haven't subscribed to Come Back Yoga's YouTube channel, please do so now. And look forward to seeing you next time. Be well in health and resiliency. Blessings abound.